Hello, Sue Wilson back again. A really striking red and white card for today, and who doesn't love red roses? This one's been made out of felt with our new classic rose collection. I'll show you how we do that. Just to introduce the dies that we'll be using in today's card, we've got the Spanish collection, border, corner, and tag, and we haven't seen this one yet. It's really pretty. We are using the Cordoba set out of the Spanish collection for the main focal image on our card. The classic rose. This is part of our finishing touches range. And out of the Italian collection, we have the decorative frames. I use these quite a bit for my sentiments. The other item that we'll be using today is the Dainty Dots embossability folder from Spellbinders. So I'm going to start there, and we're just going to emboss a square piece of coconut white card. And there's two different sizes you can choose from this. I'm going to choose the simple dot pattern on the inside here. We'll place our card in, fold the folder shut, and then get our sandwich, which is the gray base plate and the red adapter plate. And we're going to run it through the Grand Caliper. I just wanted a little bit of extra texture on the background for this one, and this folder gives exactly what you need for that. It's got a beautiful little Swiss dot pattern. Doesn't overwhelm, it's just enough, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and put that into place. I'll just use a little bit of Cosmic Shimmer glue on this. And I've got a red mat I've already prepared, put onto a base of a pierced white layer. So you can see how we're starting to build up our layers for this card. Now, I did cut 4 of the corners from the Italian collection, and they're really lovely. They've got like a little leaf pattern and some more dots that have embossed around the edge. So we'll use our Cosmic Shimmer Dries Clear glue, and we'll add those to each corner. And just need a few dots here and there around to secure that into place. So let's do that one. Give that a second to set up. We'll glue this. And there's a bit of meat to that, so you've got places that you can put your glue quite easily on these. That one in place. Do number 3. That should hold it. Get that on there, and the last one. These are beautiful corners. I'm really, really happy with the way that these have come out. I think they're different than anything on the market myself. Really unique looking designs on them. I'm proud to put my name on these. So now I've got 4 corners set up already on my background, and we're going to do the focal element now. So what I went ahead and did is cut the Cordoba collection die. There's a lot of detail on that. I didn't want to have to spend time poking it out in front of you, but you can see what I've done there. I used the inside cutting die with the outside cutting edge, and what I'm going to do is just cut it down the center. You've seen me do this where I've taken rectangles and made them into squares, but I want to show you how each one of the dies in the Spanish collection will do this quite easily. So I'm just going to line the 2 of them up together so that the designs are straight, and we're going to cut it with a paper cutter. And I'm just going to pick a spot right about like this, and let me make sure I've got them straightly lined up. Take that off. And you can see they'll go ahead and make a really pretty square pattern once again. Isn't that nice? So I've got one I did ahead of time. I've taped it back together. I've added a little bit of mounting foam to the back. And I've matted and layered it with the red, so you'll see the red coming through on the white. It's really pretty like that. See how pretty that looks? You've always got to join when you do this. So You just need to think ahead how you're going to disguise that join on your card. So what I've decided to do for mine is I'm going to take the mounting foam off the back here, and I'm going to put it on a diagonal. And that will allow my join to go off at an angle also. So this will show off all 4 corners that we've put on there earlier. You'll be able to see the Dainty Dots embossing around the back there, and then we will just carefully hide that with some beautiful flowers. First thing, I'm going to cut my sentiment. So let me get my cutting plate and my base plate. And this is from the Italian collection, excuse me. And it's the decorative frames, and I'm just going to give that a quick emboss. Grab the right plates and my tan mat. Because we want to bring out a little detail, we're going to do some inking on that too. So as we pass it through the grand caliper, and we just have the sandwich for the embossing, so it's the gray plate, the tan mat, and the pink plate. Sometimes the color in the two doesn't quite register as you pick them up quickly. So I've got that cut. Let me set this aside. I'm going to be using one of the new distressing colors called Festive Berries. It's a really bright, pretty red. So just pick up a little ink off of it, and I'm going to work my way around the edge here. And I'm going to work from a craft mat and just go in a little bit of a circular motion, trying to keep it nice and light as I go along. If you want to darken it, you can go around a second time if you like. It's definitely a personal call on this, how much ink you like to put onto your dies. Just rubbing it in circular motion as I go. That looks pretty good. Set that aside, and let me just give that a quick wipe where I've gone onto the mat because I've got that red ink there. Pop that one out and just poke out some of these little pieces. Just give them a quick little poke. They're nicely cut. And I'll show you the finished result. There we go. Isn't that pretty? All right, so now we can set that into the center of our focal element, and that will cover a portion of that join quite easily. And then we're going to finish up with the flowers. Flowers are great. They look beautiful on a card, and they hide so many things. Perfect addition. Okay, so I've got like that. Now, what I went ahead and did was I used the red felt from our Christmas felt pack, and I've cut 3 of the basic rows and just left them like that. On the first one, I cut to the center, just like I've done with paper, and I glued it just like that. So I've got a little piece to start with. On the second one, I cut a petal out. I've kept that, and that's my next piece. And on the third one, I've cut 2 petals out. There we go. And you're going to use all of those. But the trick with the felt is, the only thing different I've done is once I've glued it together like this, I've trimmed off the back little piece, okay, and I've turned it upside down, and I've put a little bit of glue on the back of each of these petals. And I'll tell you why I've done this. It gives it just a little bit more realistic of a flower. And so I've taken my pokey tool and just rolled them around that. Let me get a little more glue on there. It's come off. There we go. Just rolled it around, and it gives kind of like the curling of the petal. Rolled it around, pull it loose, rolled it around, pulled it loose. And I've done that on each piece. So now I've got a piece that I can use, and I've done one earlier, so I'm going to just start to assemble it, and you can see the difference. Put a little bit of the Cosmic Shimmer glue in there, and just like I did with paper flowers made the same way, you're going to hold it and cut the back away. Put that into place on top and kind of offset it a little bit. It looks more natural that way. I did the third one. I've rolled all the petals around on that one. Cut the back off of that. Put a little more glue in there. because that will dry clear. Put that into place, and I'm going to use my pokey tool to kind of push it down. Okay, so I've got the start of that. Now I've got to the piece with the 2 petals here, and I'm going to just roll a little bit, put a little bit on the back of it and roll it also. Just very, very slightly, like that. And now I'm going to take this one and I'm going to roll it into a tube. So I need a little more glue. I'm going to just fold it a little bit, actually, is probably a better way to describe it. Give it a second to hold up. And then I'm going to trim the back off of this one as well. And I need to trim this one a little bit low, because it's not like paper. It won't actually stick down in there as well as a piece of paper or cardstock will. So I need to keep it really nice and tight. Tiny bit more glue in there. Pop that into place. And I'm going to use the pokey tool to kind of push it down into place. I think that works a little better. There we go. Center of that rose. And this last little guy, I'm just going to put some on the center here and roll it around the tip of my pokey tool. Just like that. And then trim this one. And this one doesn't have a lot that sticks out, so I'm going to keep that sort of high. And I'm going to put tiniest bit of glue on the tip there where I've cut it. Let's see if I can get it right into the center of that rose without getting the glue everywhere. It's a little fiddly, but I think it's worth the effort. There we go. And you can see you've got a beautiful 3-dimensional felt flower. The same way you do with the paper, just takes a little bit to make it look beautiful. We're going to go ahead and add it onto our card, and I'll use a couple of glue dots for that. Let's see, right here. I went ahead and I did some leaves and used the festive berries on it as well from the Bitty Blossom set. So I'm going to take those and let's just pull those apart, and we can add them on as well. So I'll put a leaf here, we'll add a leaf here, and we'll put those into place even before we put our flower down. There we go. I think I'll stick one more right like that and put my flower. So I've covered that join pretty much right there. And then I've got a couple little teeny ones that I've made, same exact method, but with the smaller dies. They're a little fiddly to show on camera, but you can still do it the same way. So I'll add those on, and they'll cover the top part of that join. You'll never even know that I've cut that die in that location. There's one there. And my last white one is here. And I think we can probably even put a little leaf off with that one. What do you think? Maybe one more. In fact, let's stick a little bit of glue on this one and tuck it underneath. Give it a little bit of forming. And if you want to add a few pearls, you can do that to the corner just by adding a couple little glue dots. I've got some 5mm pearls. Just pop those into the corners. I like to accent all my cards with little pearls. I think that's a really pretty way to go. You could even add some more on the inside, but you can kind of see it's very, very simple to do. Finished a beautiful card there with a bright, gorgeous red rose. You could give that to anybody, or, as it says, for my friend. Hope you've enjoyed today's video.